Hello everyone! Thank you so much for watching this video and for joining us with our iBoard living journey. If you are watching this video, definitely you are one of those first few people who were invited to watch this video, and if not, then we are still thank you that you are part of our journey on the long run. You may be wondering why you were invited with this with our account. It's because you are one of those person whom we value and whom we want to share our journey and how we started, where we are right now, and how or where we are heading in the future. Basically, iBoard is a story of us, not One Direction, but a story of us, of our life story, which we turned into a technological solution. iBoard is our solution to a frustration, strengthened by a collaboration and a vision. So if you don't know me, first, let me introduce myself. I'm Zaira Marie Veronca, the CEO of iBoard Living, and the one who's also gonna be facing to you in most of this journey. What do I mean when I say that iBoard is a story of us? As a founders, me, Ate Bianca, Jude, and Aldrin, it's because iBoard is our solution to a frustration which we have encountered when we were still in the university until we went to the working world. And it's because when we grew up in a province in Caibiran, Biliran specifically. Me and my sister, we grew up there. And Caibiran is part of Biliran, which is an island province, and it's a beautiful countryside. When I say beautiful, we have the sea, we have the mountains, we have the valley, we have the plains, and it's a paradise. It's our island paradise. So just imagine you living in a paradise, being uprooted from your comfort zone because you have to go to your university in the middle of the city, and that's in Tacloban. And there you don't know anyone, or you don't have a house. You don't have the comfort zone that you're used to have in your province. The feeling is very frustrating. When we were in the university, or our first part of being in the university is to search for an accommodation. Of course, everybody needs an accommodation in every university they're in. We faced difficult situations. When we started our journey in the university, the very first difficulty that we have encountered is to find a comfortable living. When you say comfortable living, a boarding house, which we call the flat or apartments or a dorm in your place maybe, we call it boarding house, is to find a boarding house which will provide us that environment comfortable or conducive on the requirements we need as a student. But then we ended up that we don't have that facilities because either we found our roommates annoying, our next room noisy, or our landlady nagging on us for payments and all. That journey actually was one of the most painful part of studying, because you ended up going somewhere else just to be able to have that concentration, especially during exam, because you cannot find it at your own place, when in fact you deserve to have that. And it's the same story which I and my siblings also experienced going up to the city, bigger city, which is Manila, when we have to face the same problem. Knowing that Manila is already a progressive city, we are still on that verge of having difficulty finding our accommodation. Once we found it, we are not having the best environment to support us, because at the end of the day of a tiring work, we all just want to go home. But we ended up going home, not on home, but going on a chaotic place. And so when we arrived at Dubai, I saw how different the ambience is. I saw the difference and how the system here is, you know, from finding your accommodation, you have the listing platform. In transferring to an accommodation, you can just have one call away for any help in helping you out, bringing your things. And even in settling down, everything is organized in terms of payment. So it's way 360 degrees on how the Philippines approach that problem. So when I encountered that, I told myself that why can't Philippines have this kind of facility? So it took me a long time to start this project it took me like more than 2 years before it became a reality. That actually happened when I was stranded in Pakistan. When I was in Pakistan during my 3 months lockdown journey, it's like the enlightenment came in there. I watched one of the final pitch episode, and there I saw Randall B, who is actually one of my inspiration. When they, as students who also came from province, experienced the same thing that we did, getting lost in the middle of the city, finding their accommodation, losing a lot of time, having all those sweats and efforts, they converted that problem into a solution. So I told myself that I guess this is the perfect time now to provide a solution, because that problem that I was facing is the same problem that even my students whom I was teaching in the university was still facing, and I believe is still the problem that the new generation is facing. While shooting this video, we already had a long mile to we already carved a long mile. We are still in our MVP stage. We are still in the phase 2 already of our MVP development. However, I could say that even if we are still in that ideation stage, we already carved some of our journeys, and we already marked some of our stories in the heart of people. One is the final pitch, where we had our first pitch for ideation projects, and I'm just thankful that there are people who supported us. Very first people. I pitched this idea to several people, and it's not that we are not part, they don't believe in us, but they just have their priorities. But I'm just thankful that still God led me to people who were instrumental in making this a reality. I was able to meet Jude, who is our lead developer. I was able to, of course, through the referral of my mentored student, who is Aldrin. And later on, we put on board my sister, Ate Bianca, who is our CFO. So, may this video be the start of our documentary. This is going to be our diary, an open book diary, because we believe that we don't really have to keep it. We believe that our journey deserves to be heard by the world, because this is a journey that we hope will inspire people, not just to sit on a problem, but to act on it, and not just to see the world on their own vision, but to see the world in a way that it's a beautiful place after all. And you shouldn't be part of the problem, you should be part of the solution. So until next video, thank you so much, and hoping that you are all safe and you are all loved. And remember, don't just rent a room, find a home. I Bard.